All right. Here I am in my state of mind room. And I know that you guys may have heard, may have not heard um, on Instagram Live, but State of Mind just got picked up. It will be streaming globally. That means around the world. Um, I'm ecstatic, nervous. It's for a new network called Industry, and there's great people that I'll be working with. Uh, of course, my wife will be involved, and I want my wife to be the first guest. It's been tough getting her. I think I got her now, but and I'm hoping the guests that I have in mind are phenomenal, and I have their book. They have a booker. They have a studio. They have makeup. They have everything. So it's going to be like State of Mind on steroids. The beautiful part about State of Mind, I mean, it started in a car on Instagram Live, and some people had said, no, don't put it on Instagram. Not Instagram Live, Instagram Story. I used to go every Sunday in the car, and do this thing, and it was like, you guys, I didn't know if it was going to work, because who does that in Instagram Live? Talks for 8 minutes straight.
You
about,
do.
Yeah, about mental health. But you guys came every Sunday, and even when I was in bad shape during the pandemic, you guys were there, and it meant a lot, and it was very successful. And then I was asked to go to YouTube. I'm not doing YouTube because I say no to everything, and then I end up doing it. And I went to YouTube, and this has been 1 year exactly. Yeah, it's 1 year, and
Happy anniversary.
thanks. And so, like 1 year, and it's you guys we're growing. We're gonna hit 100,000 subscribers probably, you know, very soon. And even though I'm going to a network, we're still gonna put it on YouTube for at least a while. So that's that. Today, which will be today, because we'll probably put this out tomorrow morning, Johnny Wactor is going to be on, and we talk about some deep stuff. It's amazing. So anyway, that's that. That's the news. Come with me. Okay, so State of Mind. How you doing? If you like what you see, just click this little thing right here. This little red thing. Today I have Johnny Wactor. The name itself is amazing. I don't know if it's his real name or because I changed my name, but it's not as good as Johnny Wactor. Maurice Benard. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I'd like his name. He's a good guy. He's a solid guy. He's a loyal guy. And he's a really good actor. I guess he did Army Wives. I looked him up, and I guess he was a big deal there. I'm not sure. I'm going to ask him in a second. But you know him from he plays Brando Corbin on a little show called General Hospital, and I like Johnny a lot. He's I don't think he's as good as he hasn't hit his ceiling yet. He doesn't know his potential as an actor. What I like about him is, I'm just going to kiss your ass just a little bit more, but that's all right. What I like about him is that he has something that I have, but he has an animal inside of him. He has like rage, like a beast. He just hasn't, he doesn't know how to tame it yet, but he will. And when he does, he's going to be somebody to reckon with as an actor. All right. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, brother, I gotta tell you, it's so supremely awkward to be having my ass kissed and just listening to it so close to you. But it's. I appreciate the accolades, man, and the nice words.
I don't. I only say the truth. So,
Yeah,
and a lot of these things I don't. The introductions I just say it on the spot because
yeah,
I want it to be that truthful, that real, and but I believe it. You got that. You got that rage that I love, but that rage can, as I know, kick your ass.
absolutely. I think, yeah. I mean, we talked about it, and that rage, I think, is kind of like it's almost like a superpower. I think
Yeah.
especially in our field, because not everyone has that, or if they do, I don't think they have the ability or the willingness to access it.
Yeah.
But when you do, I mean, it's really kind of special. But at the same time, it's kind of, I know that me personally, I can get caught up in like wanting to access that animal,
Yeah.
uncage it because it feels good, right?
Yeah.
But it's not appropriate for,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, every scene and stuff. So,
Yeah. And also, let's not forget life, man.
oh yeah.
That's where it's really not appropriate.
No, 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 no. It's gotten me in a lot of trouble, I think, throughout my life, just kind of being letting the animal out. But at the same time, it's a freeing feeling, man. And
Yeah.
when the animal is out of the cage, it's like it feels the most free.
Yeah.
If that makes
It's
sense.
amazing that we're what we're talking about to begin this is the rage in the animal.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like with me, it's been like being able to release that animal
Hmm.
or beast in acting was really healthy for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I'm questioning whether how healthy it is now.
Hmm.
It's a you know what I'm saying? It's maybe because I've been doing it for so long. And you let that beast go out, man, and it's like tiring after a while.
Well, I think it is probably healthy in a way, and especially in the beginning, and it's probably a form of therapy,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
because that rage, that anger, it's there, it's bottled up, and I think that's not. I think that rage, it is a result of other things that have caused it. So it feels good to let it out, but you're not taking care of the problems that are causing that rage, right?
Yes.
So it feels good, it's healthy in a sense, but you're not really attacking the root of the problem, right?
Yeah.
So, using acting, I think, is like a form of therapy to release. It's good, but it's like that's not going to take care of what's causing it, which
That's
that's what
right.
we got to take care of, so
That's a
we
good
don't
way.
we
Yeah.
don't like it's not controlling our lives and our real life.
Yes. But that's true. That's where the therapy comes in to get to the root of the matter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I think I might have told you this, but my therapist at one point, because I was yelling a lot in the past, especially because of the work, because because of acting, I would go off on if I'm doing a scene and somebody walks in the door, I'm like, what the fuck?
Had your Christian Bale moment.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Many of those, and I'm like, we're acting here. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so I justified it. It's like a lot of the crew people love it. They're like, keep doing it. But then I told my therapist, and he said to me, he's like, why do you keep on doing that? I said, because I want to get what I want. He goes, yeah, but do you know that you scare people? I said, yeah, but I mean, and he goes, first of all, you're scaring people, and ultimately you're hurting yourself, and that's going to bring on anxiety. And as everybody knows on State of Mind, nothing scares me more than anxiety. Although I'm getting a little better. Kick that motherfucker's ass.
Yeah, man.
But when he said that, it really hit me. Because I don't like scaring people, because I'm not a bad person. And it does make me feel bad after. And all that just inside, it just builds and builds.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot through that. And but we need the beast to be good actors.
Yeah. It's
But don't let it affect your life.
right, and it's a tough thing to kind of like. It's like, well, I want to kind of keep this beast because I know it serves me in my art, but it doesn't necessarily serve me well or the people I love in my real life, you know. So it's like, how do I keep this beast, you know, keep him caged and have some control over him, you know, so I can utilize him, but you know, like yeah, again in real life, just, you know, I can lock it up, you know, and I can deal with someone in a way where I'm not scaring them, like, you know, like you said, because, you know, you know, I used to have a very short temper, and I've done a lot of work on that. And
I can tell, man.
No, I can tell I had a short temper, or I've done a lot of work.
Both.
Yeah, it's.
So when did it start? Like this was it when you were a little kid? Why did since we're gonna talk about the beast?
Let's dive in, dude.
Yeah, this is like, I don't think I've really done the State of Mind talking about a beast inside of you. When did okay, I can attribute. Oh man, we're gonna get deep here.
Let's go.
Okay. I can attribute whatever. Probably my dad used to whip me with a belt, and I think that has to do with the beast that started forming inside of me. I think. I don't. I mean, I can guess it is. I don't know about you. How was your childhood, and was it similar?
Yeah, I mean, you know, to pinpoint the creation or the, you know, when the beast was being developed, I don't know. I was definitely whipped as a kid, spanked, whipped. My babysitter was allowed to whip me. She had a, you know, wooden paddle dedicated to it. But you know, I mostly got whipped by my dad, you know, with the belt when I did something.
Was your dad a big dude?
Big dude, 6'3", 260.
See?
Yeah, big dude.
Wow.
And my mom, you know, my mom would spank me too.
Yeah, but don't work.
I was just home for the holidays, and I was laughing with my brother. We were recounting this time that my mom spanked me with one of those paddles with the, you know, they had the rubber ball.
Yeah.
So she ripped that off, and she was going to spank me with it. And my brother and I went into the room, and we made this plan. All right, you put sweatpants on, more sweatpants on, and then put the army pants on. So I had like 3 pairs of pants on, 3 pairs of underwear, so I could pad my butt. And it broke on the button. Did
you laugh?
Oh yeah, I laughed, and my mom did too. So it was actually, I kind of got to escape from it, but.
But your dad, you don't laugh.
No. And you know, his famous line was, "Son, this hurts me more than it hurts you." And you know, when you're like a kid, you're like, yeah, right, bullshit.
But see, you know? That's amazing because and you're a sensitive guy.
Mm-hmm.
So am I, and that's because I have a brother. I haven't talked about. I don't think I've talked about this in my book. I did, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing general about it. New York Times bestseller.
Shameless pitch.
But my brother said it didn't affect him. Okay, fine, that's fine. I won't get into that. It's fine. I believe him, whatever. But I went to my dad and I said, "Dad, I just want to tell you that I was abused." He goes, no, 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 no. He says, I did what my dad did, what his dad did to his. I said, yeah, Dad, it's not truly your fault because that's the only thing you knew.
Right.
But I said, do you understand what it's like? Because a lot of times with him was when I would lie to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't, you can't lie to my dad.
Yeah.
So one time I I played baseball when I wasn't supposed to because he said that the window would break. And sure enough, I played baseball and the window broke. So he came home and I said, no, Dad, what happened is the lamp fell and he was lying. He goes, come to the living room. I said, Dad, do you know how when you're like 8, 9, 10 years old, and he's 6 foot big dude, I said, do you know what it's like, that anticipation when you gotta go to the living room? And then you walk, it's like the walk of, and you walk and you're there and you're looking up at a man who's 6 feet and he's just whipping you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Dad, it's abuse. And I said, and plus, when out of anger you keep doing it, that's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And he was beautiful, my dad, and he said, I'm sorry. And it's just amazing,
Yeah.
that he could accept it and say he's sorry, and we moved on.
And when you had this conversation with him, was this when you were still young, or were you
Oh,
older?
no, I was older then.
Okay.
Because my therapist said I have to have this conversation.
Yeah. Man,
And
that's
I'm like,
beautiful,
I don't want to
dude.
have this conversation.
You're right, but
And she said, no, you need to. And I said, okay. So I did it. And then it was great. It's great.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's he was saying no, that's like that's what my dad did and probably his dad did. It's a learned method of discipline.
Yeah.
And prior to these days, I mean, mental health awareness is gained so much traction these days, and it's much more acceptable to go see a therapist.
Yeah.
It's not as taboo. I mean, it's like, why not? Mental health, you go to the gym for physical health. We should do the same thing for our mental and emotional and spiritual, right?
Yeah.
But it's the same way. Like both my parents were whipped, and their parents were too. And I don't know when that started, but it's something that's a learned method of discipline. And I think nowadays, as education has increased and we're able to really kind of like dive into possible effects, long-term traumas that are being had on people as they grow up, and why people behave the way that they do, or why they have these deep-seated anxieties, or they operate from a place of fear. Like, we can go back to those and be like, well, maybe it was because you were getting whipped when you were like 6 years old, and by a person that's 10 times your size, and that potentially could have started a trauma there, and it's because there's an inability or an unwillingness to communicate with a child, from a parent, because of a number of reasons. Maybe dad worked all day. It's Friday. All he wants to do is come home, put his feet up, and watch some TV because he's been chased by the dogs. Dropping boxes off at the UPS. Doing that, and it's like, and then I'm lying about breaking the window or drawing on the wall with permanent markers and stuff, and they just don't have patience.
Nah.
And it's, I don't know. I don't, and I'm sure you don't either. Like, you don't vilify your dad for whipping you, and I don't think that's the purpose of this. It's just identifying that, like, yeah, that probably created some trauma in me, some anger maybe.
Well, I mean, here we start a conversation on the beast within,
Mm-hmm.
and we're both sensitive men, and we both have been whipped. So, we're not professionals. But if I can put two and two together, maybe. Now, you could also say, well, thank God that we have this beast because it makes us the actors we are.
Yeah.
But I know for myself, and I would guess you too, it didn't help a lot of my mental illness,
Yeah.
or maybe it created it.
Could have, yeah. And I think it's and probably a combination of many other traumas,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I get everything that you watch late at night that says, hi, I have bipolar 1.
You're like, you meet every criteria. Yeah.
It's almost laughable.
Yeah.
It was laughable.
You gotta laugh at it, man.
You do,
yeah.
but now I'm like not laughing because it's like, oh yeah, that one too. It's like, oh my God, I can't even get into it here with so many.
Yeah, well, it's like now since we're kind of talking on about I think childhood and our parents. My father was an alcoholic, and I think that probably played a large part in his disciplinary method. His father was also an alcoholic as well.
Yeah.
And I think when you have alcoholism, especially untreated, you don't have that ability to communicate because you don't have the ability to be honest with yourself and to be able to deal with your own emotions in a healthy way. And oftentimes, we project. And I can say this because I deal with alcoholism and addiction as well. And it's a if you are not treating that disease, you're not a healthy person. And,
No.
and whether you love your kid, but if you're unhealthy, there's probably a lot of times where you haven't been able to discipline or communicate to them in a healthy way, and that's probably continuing on some of the traumas that they have.
Yeah. Yes. And that's tough.
Yeah.
Because you add addiction and alcohol to whatever else you have, it just compounds it, doesn't it? I mean, it's like
throwing jet fuel on a bonfire,
Yeah, I know.
You already threw the Christmas tree in there.
Yeah.
And let's throw some jet fuel on it too.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, with everything that I have with mental illness and anxiety, bipolar, and we go down the line. If you had added alcoholism, I wouldn't be here. Because I'm almost wasn't here without the alcoholism. You added more to it, it would have been just way too tough. Although, on the positive side, whenever I say that, especially on state of mind, we can get through anything, man.
Did you ever just ask, I don't know, God or ask something like, why me? Why do you give me this sickness, this anxiety, this depression?
Always.
Go down that victim rabbit hole.
Yes.
It's so unhelpful, man, but it's such an easy one to go into.
That's why I tell people now, stop asking why.
Yeah.
Just live life.
Why doesn't matter, really.
No.
It doesn't.
No.
Everyone is dealing with their own trauma in some way, and it's all relative. Some people's, bottoms or worst traumas may seem like a walk in the park for somebody else, but like it doesn't matter if that's that person's worst, experience in their life, then it's the same as whatever your worst experiences in your life.
That's right. That's right. And why is not, it almost seems useless. Because why pretty much says I'm a victim. Why me? Why did this? When I escaped the mental hospital and the pills wore off, and so then I started feeling everything, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember I got major depression. Mm-hmm. And I remember rolling out of bed. Couldn't even stand. And I remember I would be by myself till my mom and dad came from work at 4:30, so I'd be by myself all day, you know. And I remember specifically in the hall just yelling, God, why the fuck are you doing this to me? Why the fuck did I do to deserve this fucking pain? That's what I was just yelling. But what happens is, like always, even just recently, he tells you why, man. And then life's great. And I think that if you don't take advantage of that is when you go down a worse hole. But you got to appreciate it.
Yeah. And even if you can't get yourself to the point of appreciating it, accepting it, it's like,
Yes.
okay, whether I like this or not, this is where I'm at.
That's right.
You know, this is what I have to deal with, you know? And so you can either deal with it or not, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, how you deal with it, you know, there's plenty of ways, you know, there's treatment, there's, you know, there's hopefully people that you love that you can talk to.
Yes. Yes.
Programs, all kinds of stuff, man. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think why is the most helpful question to ask ourselves. It's what can I do? And if you're sitting there and you're like you're at a loss, it's like talk to someone, you know.
Yes.
And it's
professional or you love somebody that loves you
and that you trust.
Now let me. This is a great talk. I knew I was gonna have a great talk with Johnny on State of Mind because I've had talks with him already, and I just knew, but I didn't know it was gonna be this kind of. It's like we just dove right in.
No foreplay, dude.
No. So let's talk about our dads, man.
All right.
Because your dad just passed away.
He did.
My dad just passed away. I don't know what I want to ask on this. I kind of. How was it? How was it? I mean, was it? Because for me, it was. I think I read a little bit about yours. It's very tough. Mine. It's not. It's been like, you know, I loved my dad. He's my idol. But I think he just wants me to be cool with it.
Yeah.
How about you? You took it.
It hurt, man.
Yeah.
It hit me hard.
What? It hit you hard in the way that you were not able to say things to him at the end, or were you?
So on paper, if you knew about my dad's what he was battling, you'd be like, well, it's no surprise. Of course he died. It's surprising that he's lived this long. You know, he was battling heart conditions since he was 40. My dad died at 57 years old.
Damn.
57. He had already had a pacemaker and a Watchman, which are two treatments that they do if you have a heart condition. He had a heart ablation, which is when they like burn a part of your heart and shut it down. And had a piece of plastic mechanics, and they're helping his heart work. On top of that, he had stage 4 melanoma, 4 tumors in his lungs. They never were able to find the source of the melanoma. They don't think it was developed from skin cancer, but these were all things that he was battling. The last 2 to 3 years of his life were really hard. And I'm out here in LA. My family's in South Carolina, so I didn't really get to see the battles that they had to see, and especially my mom have to deal with on a regular basis, and oftentimes having to play nurse. And so if you look at that, it's easy to be like, well, you had to have seen it coming. But and especially the Christmas before he he passed, we took him to the ER Christmas Eve night because his heart rate was 172, which was not an unnormal thing for him. And so we spent Christmas in the hospital with him. But he quit immunotherapy treatment and went on chemo and was excited. And it was the healthiest I had seen him in 2 years. And I was like, man, like I think my dad's going to get better. And he was upbeat and positive and talking about things that him and I were going to do, go on trips and stuff, and like go see the sequoias and national parks. And that was last time I saw him, and that was June of 2020. And I was home in South Carolina. I came back to LA, and I woke up at about 6 a.m. and had 18 missed calls, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And then my brother called me, my youngest brother, and he goes, hey, he's like, I don't know if you heard, he's like, Dad passed. And I was shocked because I wasn't expecting that, even though it's like he had cancer, all these heart problems. And it's
but that initial...
I just seen him 2 weeks ago, and he's the healthiest I'd seen him in 2 years, and he's gone.
Damn.
Hurt, dude. Hurt. My mom had to pull him out of bed, give him CPR.
Yeah.
Big man, dude. Pull him off the bed, give him CPR. Cops came. My neighbor came to help, and the grief that I dealt with and having to. Grief is a fucked up thing, man.
Yeah.
And it comes in for me, waves, and it twists your mind.
Yeah.
And I went down some dangerous rabbit holes, man. Like I thought my mom had like a hand in like and like I was judgmental of how her and my youngest brother were dealing with how my father passed. And I was just like, it's not hitting you like it's hitting me. So there's something wrong with you. Something's fucking fishy, dude. My mind was fucked up, man.
Yeah.
And
because everybody deals with grief differently.
Yeah.
But we tend to think, why isn't he crying? But and I hate to even bring this up right now, but in acting, we do, we judge somebody's dead. We'll get into your thing on GH. But somebody died, and why isn't that person crying? Hey, right. Everybody's different.
Yeah, and it's tremendously difficult when you're reading, if you're reading on the script on the page and it says
right.
tears here and struggle, and it's like, and then you're in your head thinking you gotta meet that criteria, or it's not a good, you didn't do a good job, and that's bullshit, man.
No, it's bullshit.
Because grief is weird, man.
And I'll say it now, acting wise. But even life, maybe. Tears are overrated. You get me?
Yeah.
Because you could do a scene, and you're just straight, and this person got... And I'm crying for you, but I ain't crying over here.
Right, dude.
But I'm sorry to go back. So
it's
your
okay.
mom, that's amazing.
Dude,
but did you figure out that it was you that had the...
Yeah, I mean, I talked to my therapist about it. I talked to a couple of other very close friends.
Oh, good for you.
You know, I'm lucky. I got some, good friends and
good for you.
where I'm able to kind of, talk about the crazy shit where it's like, this is embarrassing. I shouldn't tell anybody about this. And how many thousands, tens of thousands of people are going to watch this now? I don't know, but like it's It's like that's why we're doing this, though, right? It's like to talk about the embarrassing things, but if it's helpful, because it's like, it's okay, man. It's okay. Like there's no one way to grieve, there's no one way to deal with shit. And it's like, if you can admit that's like, okay, I went through that. Do I think, those crazy thoughts, do I think that's true now? No. I know I was being irrational. I was angry. I wanted to blame somebody. Because I felt attacked by life, by fucking God, whatever, because they took my dad away. And they shouldn't have taken him away, right? And that's me wanting to control shit. And guess what? It's just a natural cycle of life, right?
Yeah. One thing that's great about you, and it is I have the same thing. Is you're able to look in the mirror. Because I think if we both weren't able to look in the mirror, I know I may be in prison or dead for sure. Maybe dead before prison.
Or dead in prison.
Yeah, dead in prison.
Yeah.
But we're able to look in the mirror, and that's why even though you've been through so much, I can see that you don't like that. Like, I don't like that feeling pain, that ugliness,
Discomfort?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a wuss.
I know. That's what my therapist said to me. He goes, we were on the phone, and I was outside, and I said, it's freaking cold out here. He goes, Maurice, you don't like not feeling comfortable, do you? I said, what? I said, what? He goes, you don't like not feeling comfortable. He goes, I said, yeah, I guess you're right. And that's true. That's very true.
I think everyone, we're all just trying to be comfortable in love, man. We just want to, we want to serve that inner child, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but.
We're going to talk about General Hospital.
Okay.
Because you and I are both on that show.
You're on the show?
Yeah. I'm not, yeah. I think I've been there like way too long, but, so you did a storyline where the baby dies, you know, we're obviously and very powerful and great performances between you and
Sophia.
See, because I feel you're getting a lot more. They're giving you a lot of good stuff. I just think that they should continue to.
I hope so.
Well, yeah. It's just that I believe too good not to.
Thank you.
So they have to keep. But back to the baby storyline, with what they give you, you guys just crush that, right?
Thank you.
And I just want it to continue.
I
mean,
do.
I know it's not your.
It's not my say. No, it's not. It's
not my say.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of the people think, Maurice, can you tell him? I said, no, that's the old me, not the new me. The new me shuts up. I just do my job.
Yeah, I act. Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, I appreciate the kind words, man. I look at when they give me, or I'll say us, a storyline like this. It's, Frank came up to me and Sophia, a couple weeks before, and kind of was just like giving us a heads up. He's like, hey, we're giving you something to chew on. Like, it's, kind of do me proud kind of thing. Like a pep talk, and like, hey, like, knock this out of the park for me. And so, I mean, I not that I needed that, but like, it's like, okay, like, this is important, and I anytime that I get a storyline, like that, where like I understand it as and accept it as such like an opportunity and a blessing, because it's like there's so many great actors on our show, and not everyone gets to have a great storyline all the time.
No.
And so like, it's like when I get something like this, it's like, hell yeah, man, I'm gonna put 100% effort into it. And I do that too on, when I'm just coming in and I'm only in 2 pages, for the day. It's like you got to treat it the same way, because if you gotta practice on the easy days, the same way you would a hard day, or else you're developing bad habits.
Yes.
Yeah, I forget what your question was, to be honest.
There's
man.
no question. Just continue to do what you do and grow.
I was going to tell you. I remember it was kind of like in the first week or two of filming the beginning of Baby Liam stuff, and I came to you, and came to your room and asked you if I could talk to you and ask you some questions, man. and you're like, yeah, sure, come on in. We talked for probably like an hour,
Yeah.
I think, after a long day on
Right.
set, man, and was just, I don't know about you, but like I battle a need for certainty or validation, like in my work, because I'm unable to assess that on my own,
I know.
and I went to you because I value, your experience, and I watch you, and I see your work, and I'm like, man, you're always dropped in, you're always in it.
Yeah.
Whether I'm in a scene with you or if I'm just watching, it's like you're grounded, man, and
Yeah.
you don't let things like throw you off kilter. It's like you fold it in,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so I'm like, that's what I want, that confidence, where when I'm walking on there, it's like whatever's going on, I'm just accepting and rolling with it, right?
Yeah.
And I remember talking to you because I was like, dude, I'm gonna get fired. I'm not doing my job, and you were like,
Dude.
calm down, man. No,
Yeah.
you're like,
That's why, because I don't think you're gonna, you'll get to that point where once you feel that you know what you're doing and you're good, no one can take that away from you. But you're too much in your head, right?
mm-hmm.
Which is a lot of us, especially when I was young, that's the way it was. But all you can do is be 150% prepared
Mm-hmm.
and tell the truth.
Yeah.
And figure out a way to relax. This what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
If I had to do this 3-4 years ago, it would have been different. The only reason I can do this and have this thing with you right now is because I'm relaxed. I'm not like there's nothing going on or in my head, or why is Johnny's beard better than mine? You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
I mean, there's nothing, and so it is that 150%. I should write. I'm gonna, because my son's an actor and he just missed out on a huge big movie, but he's 17.
Dude.
But he took it a little harder than he usually does. You can only be 150% relaxed. You tell the truth, and you're prepared, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you're a little heady, but once you get out of your head, your acting is gonna jump, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have moments where I'm out of my head, but it's not.
I know.
It's like this. It takes work to get there,
Yeah.
And I do find that, like, that 150% preparedness coming to work like that, that's huge in getting me out of my head.
Yes.
And because if you're prepared, then it's like what do I got to worry about? It's got to be truthful and honest,
All right, I think we've covered it. I don't know what I expected, but I did expect it to be good, this conversation. And so having this conversation today, having the discussion on rage, the beast within, fathers, it was so, I think I needed it. I guess Johnny was my therapy. All right, brother. What else can I say, man? Thank you for doing this. It's real good. Real good. Open book.
Yeah, man.
Like we're both looking at each other in the mirror or something.
Hey, it's a special quality to have. It's a learned one for me, and I think everyone would be better to be able to look in the mirror honestly and assess themselves and fix some things.
So important.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Thank you for having me on the show, dude.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
That's good.